بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Tonight is the third night in Medina and we are about to go to Umrah inshallah. And 3 days ago I met some brothers who are coming with us to the Umrah, numbering about 11 people, and each one of them is a revert from a different background. One of them is this brother for my meeting, and inshallah I'm going to make this short meeting with him, an interview, and just to show us how he embraced Islam. So first of all, what's your name?
Shtukula. My name is
Shtukula, mashallah.
Shtukula.
Right, Shtukula, which background country you come from?
So I'm from Zambia.
Where is Zambia, by the way?
Zambia is in the southern region of Africa, right next to Zimbabwe.
60 to Zimbabwe, mashallah, tabarakallah. Right, so when you came to this country, how long ago?
So I came to the UK 2012, November 26.
Mashallah.
I was 13, turning 14.
Oh, so
Yeah, I was
you came with
13.
your parents and all your family?
No, so my father has been in the UK for...
Period of time.
Yeah, since like 1999 for,
Okay.
and then I only joined him afterwards when he was able to.
Oh, so you joined them on your own. So you came to join them.
Yeah, I came
in
out,
the UK.
but yeah, just him. It was just him. It's just me and my dad. Yeah.
And you made your studies here in this country?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, technically, yeah. School went there, then here, yeah.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. طيب. So when you came from home to this country, did you have a belief?
Yes, I was a Roman Catholic.
Roman Catholic. Were you dedicated to this religion or just
Yeah.
name Roman Catholic?
I would say very dedicated because my late grandmother, she was very, very religious. She was very into church. So,
MashaAllah.
she really pushed me into that direction. So, I didn't really have my parents growing up. So, she was like my parents. So, I kind of really listened to her. So, I just really embraced it. So,
Okay.
Yeah, really
Right,
embraced
so
it.
you could say every Ahad Sunday you used to go there, or?
So in Catholicism, there's what's called as the seven sacraments, where you get baptized,
Oh yeah.
you get confirmed,
Yep.
and then so that's the whole process. Is from when you're young. So from when you're like 8, 9 to when I came here at 13, 14. So around that same time. So I got baptized at 10, 11.
MashaAllah.
10, 11.
Right.
Confirmed, yeah.
So, I would like to ask him in some of the, well, you've got the confession, haven't you, as well,
Yeah.
they said the Catholicism. So when you were a Catholic
Yeah.
and you were into that direction,
Yeah.
you would say to yourself that you were pleased with what you are, or you had some sort of other thoughts? Did something bother you in that Christianity, in that environment?
In Christianity, yeah, it did really, because
What was that?
Christianity was kind of a bit weird for me personally. Like, I embraced it, but because the stories are quite similar. I don't know if you know the story of Moses. The story of, when he was given the 10 Commandments. One of them is don't worship any other god but me. And
God is one.
Yeah, God is one. Yeah, that's the first one, and
Yeah.
the second one is don't make any false idols
In the image of
in
yours.
an image of me. And what I came to realize at first, it was like a question. I remember when I went back home for the first time, my cousin, he kind of said it as a joke, like while we were in church, like we were looking at the crosses and everything, and he was like, you know what, bro, like this is like
Against the commands.
Yeah, against the commands. But then he laughed when he said it. If you know, it was like a joke, and then I laughed as well. I was like, but then it's like when I came back to the UK, that thought stayed with me. I was like, all this, because it was Moses, because Moses was quite popular. I was like, wait, Moses was a prophet, and he was sent to, from God.
Children of Israel.
Yeah, he was sent from God to deliver the message, saying, come back to me, my people. And then from then, I just I had already read the Bible, but I started reading the Bible a bit more. And then from the first story I got, of course, Adam, I would say it's quite similar. The story is quite similar. I was like, okay, that's two. And then when I got to Abraham, peace be upon him, he had a son named Ishmael, yeah. And in the Bible it says, what it says is God, after the sacrifice story. So it says God was pleased with him.
But I think the Bible, they don't talk about
No,
Ishmael. They talk about
Isaac. Yeah, they say Isaac. Yeah,
yeah.
they're talking about Isaac, because
Isaac,
in Isaac. So, but with Isaac, they say God was pleased with him. God was pleased with Abraham because because he was willing to do it for the sake of Allah. But then I questioned that the sentence, because it said he was pleased with him because it was his only son. And I was like, how can Isaac be an only son if Ishmael was born first? Because I'm an only child, or only child from my father, of course, and I can only be my father's only child. And Isaac was the second child, So he can never be an only child because he can always have an older brother.
So that made something in your mind about contradictions in the
yeah,
Bible.
yeah, that was the first
How
one.
old were you?
I think I was like, this one, so the first time I went back to Zambia, I was 19. 19.
For the sake of the time of the video, we have to make it as short as possible. Was it the church that you used to go to, is it African sort of background, affiliated to African, or?
Yeah, no, Zambia's a Catholic, or I'll say.
It's in Africa, isn't it?
Yeah, but Catholic nation, or Christian church, or, well, Catholic country, innit, or Catholic country.
You know, but the churches, when you go there, there's some of the African sort of affiliated churches. They do, for example, in the church, dances.
Oh, yeah.
The African are even over sort of excitement in it.
Yeah, of course, of
I've
course.
seen them like dancing and jumping, like
course,
acrobatics and all of that.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So you could just now take us through, how did you come to know about Islam? And when was that?
When I came to know about Islam. So I was quite interested in a few things at first, of course, the usual, the civil rights, the Malcolm X, but then the MLK. But then I really looked at Malcolm X. I really started focusing on Malcolm X a lot, because it was like, this guy was really just telling the truth and speaking his mind. And I was like, what made him do this? And then I really started comparing the stories now. I really started comparing the stories now. Because I was like, okay, the Bible is here. I even I have the Bible here, which my grandmother gave me, and I had the Quran, which one of the brothers, Ahmed Yemen from Greenwich gave me.
So he approached you with Islam and gave you this, or
No, in fact, I asked him.
I see.
I asked him. I remember the first time I asked him, and then I took it to my house, and my dad threw it away. But then I think I was just kind of persistent about it. I just kind of hid it from him.
Curiosity.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because why is he trying to stop me from thinking like this? And then, as I started comparing the stories, I came to the conclusion that all the prophets were coming from one source, and everyone had the same message. And I was like, but if everyone's saying the same thing, because even Jesus prayed. Jesus, but exactly, there we go now. Who did Jesus pray to? These are the questions I started asking, and I was like, surely there's something that will make sense. And then when I looked into Islam, I read the Quran, and it was kind of confirmation of what I knew. It was really solidified.
Synchronizing
what I knew, what I was believing.
What is called normal and instinct goes along with what
I was thinking. It was making so much sense.
Rational thinking.
Yeah, rational thinking, of course. It was making so much sense. To a point where I even got scared. Because I was like, wait, why am I the only one seeing this?
But all of that was in your own. You didn't have any sort of brothers talking to you?
No. This is all me.
So, and how long was that ago? How long ago?
So I was 19, 20 around this time.
How long ago?
So I'm 26, so 6 years ago now?
6 years ago.
6 years ago. So I was having all these doubts. And then, unfortunately, my grandmother, when she died, I just kind of broke down. I was like, let me just go back to Christianity. Let me just forget about this. Let me just go back to Christianity.
But you're still Christian, but going back, you mean as in not to investigate about Islam?
Yeah, no investigate about Islam. I was like, let me leave Islam. Let me just stick to what my grandmother told me. But then, I don't know, the story of Ishmael really,
stuck with your mind.
Yeah, stuck with my, because Ishmael, that's where the prophet, peace be upon him, that's where he's from. And in the Bible, it literally just stops. It literally stops at where Abraham, peace be upon him, sent Hagar away, and that was it. It just stops right there. And I was like, wait,
There's something missing.
Something is missing. There's no way God would just say, send this kid away, and then nothing happens from him. There's no development, he just disappears. But then, when I looked into Islam, his story continued. The Kaaba, how
Abraham together,
all of the Zamzam water. One of the biggest, I think the conversion for me was the Zamzam water.
Really?
Yeah, because that's one of Allah's first, I'll say, one miracle that's still here to this day. If you know what I mean, it's still present. That water is still everyone can justify yes, this is where this water came from. This is where the story is from, and it was very. I don't know, I just couldn't deny it anyway, because the evidence was there. With Christianity, it's different, because it's it contradicts itself. It tells you one thing, then you read further in, it's nah, no, this is not that, this. But then with Islam, it's the story is consistent. And there's back into it. And I was I can't deny this anymore, man.
SubhanAllah.
Allah's chosen me to follow Islam.
Did you embrace Islam yourself?
Yeah, by myself, yeah.
How were you read about how to come to the Islam? Did you?
No, so what happened was, because I was reading these stories, and of course I was having these doubts in my head about leaving Christianity, and then I prayed. I remember I prayed one day because I did it in the morning. It was so weird. I did it in the morning. Like I prayed, and then I called the same brother. I'm a German. Like he's my neighbor, but he's like my neighbor. I just called him in the morning.
Subhanallah.
Like in the morning, like on the Saturday. I remember it was early. No, he was the only one. It was me downstairs in my block of flats. I didn't even think I bathed. I called him. I was like, I'm ready to take my shahada today, man.
You
ready.
couldn't even wait till the
No,
afternoon.
it was morning. Like I remember, I just woke up. I was like, I'm taking it today. Like nothing's gonna stop me. And I went and I took it. And then from then,
You took it with him.
yeah, with him, yeah, he's the one. Like,
So he taught you.
he told me,
Did he say to you the part regarding Christianity, like for example,
Mm.
the shahada for a person who is coming from a Christian background, especially dedicated person like you, it's the shahada which is ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu, but there's an addition to it which is wa ashhadu anna isa kalimatullah.
And I believe that Jesus is the messenger is not the son of God but a messenger.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
وروح منه كلمة ألقاها إلى مريم وروح منه, that he is the word of Allah, is being given to Maryam, and he's a spirit from him.
Yeah.
That's as well. It's a part of that
shahada. Part of it.
Because you want to denounce all of those to do with.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
Jesus is the God. Jesus is the Son of God. He's one of the three. You know.
Trinity. All of those.
So
things,
that was about 5 years ago.
I'll say so. I'll say 20. That was 3 years after that because my grandmother died.
So how long ago now?
3 years now. I'll say.
3 years, mashallah.
Yeah, 3 years, 2 years.
So this first Umrah for you, this one?
Yeah, first Umrah. Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
So far, so good. I'm loving it.
MashaAllah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Khair, inshallah. Jazakallahu khairan for your interview that you gave to us, and this is going to be, inshallah, something that will be encouraging other people to look how these people are embracing Islam and why they're embracing Islam. So it's all of it just to motivate people, encourage people. We're not really after fame or thumbs up or likes. We're after the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure.
I'll encourage everyone to become.
جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. بارك الله فيكم إخواني. جزاكم الله خيرا.